Immersed in the profound wisdom of the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, ancient verses, revered as a pinnacle of devotion and spiritual awareness. Under the guidance of His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda, plunge into the infinite ocean of this revered scripture. Discover its hidden truths. Embrace its transformative power. Awaken to new realms of divine love and spiritual awareness. The depths are calling. The deeper you dive, the more treasures you'll discover. And now, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. And adorations to the Divine Self in each of you. The Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, the special theme of the talk is Prayashchitta Karmas, expiatory deeds in all religions of the world. Their sinful karmas are defined. Certain karmas, in a broad way, karmas, actions that arise out of greed, hate, terrible ego, actions that are going to damage others as well as yourself. They are called sinful karmas. Not simple, sinful. And in general masses, there is a concept that if you do some austerity to counteract the karma, and every religion prescribes for certain type of sinful karma, you recite your mantras so many times. For certain karma, just recitation won't be good. Do some fasting also. Some karma, you have to do it for a longer period of time. And there is lots of prayashchitta karmas. So much so, every week people carry what they have done wrong and get it pardoned by God. Go to church, temple. All that is perfectly good. But you are being led to understand from a profounder point of view. Firstly, a prayashchitta, an expiatory deed, becomes really effective if you are not going to commit the same sin or same negative act. But if you have developed the idea that each time I do it, I will go to the temple and recite a prayer. Then I come back and throw mud on others. Go back again. And it's a very third-class level of expiation. Second-class level, you do change your mind and feel proud of doing so. When error is recognized and you wash your hand of it and you are not going to commit it. That's a brave state. And now you have to be braver than that. Your target is to end all karmas. Because virtuous karmas give you prosperity here and hereafter. But prosperity comes to an end. And no amount of prosperity can be absolutely fulfilling to you. You always look at people who are a little more prosperous than you. You go on looking until neck gets tired. And every prosperity comes to an end. Then you are driven again to create karmas. Dharma and adharma, virtue and vice, both must terminate. Now you are thinking in a correct way. All karmas have been based on ignorance. And you must do expiation for all that. And the highest form of expiation is turning your mind to God, developing devotion. So therefore, you can be doing your prayer and japa, repeating the divine name, from a very low level, just to counteract a negative karma you have done. Or you can be doing that for developing love of God. Once you have turned yourself to God with the idea of total surrender, then all your karmas, no matter whatever that has been, they are all deleted. The divine grace immediately evaporates all. Keeping that in view, I will just recite some of the statements from the scriptures. Sarvashramadhigamanam sarvatirthavaгаhanam nathatha phaladam saute narayana katha yatha. In Mahabharata is the statement. Visiting all ashrams and bathing in all the holy waters, all these do not equal in merit as listening to the glory of Lord Narayana, glory of God. People are told their sinful karmas will be washed away if they went to Ganges river, if we went a little up in the Himalayan shrines, and if they were to do it all by on foot. The more austerity you give to yourself, it is considered more effective. You have put more detergent. But what actually happens, led by faith, you do get a lot of benefit. But you could get all that benefit if your heart, your mind, your whole personality has been aligned to integral yoga. There's a Hindi saying, Man changa ta katvat me ganga. Your mind has become well attuned to spiritual knowledge and what God is. Then even in your bathtub, Ganges starts flowing. But if your mind is not attuned, then even if when you have gone with all hard labor by the Ganges, you begin to sneer at the Ganges and look at all that muck going on, float. Your shots that you take, that's that stays. You take pictures. And those pictures are the only thing that you go on highlighting before people. I'm giving a very crude illustration. Even so, every step you have taken towards the Ganges has removed countless karmas. But all that means nothing. It's just like someone has removed countless bags of sand from Sahara Desert. But when you begin to listen and allow the teachings to enter your heart and brings in your personality a sense of surrender, always remember the 3 stages. The first stage, understand Deha buddhya tu dasoham. To the extent I view myself as body, I am a slave of God. Develop that attitude. It's God's will, not mine. And that must always back up all your thought process. That doesn't in any way interfere with your self-effort. Rather, you do your self-effort better than ever because God is watching you. You are a slave of God. And not like a slavery type of attitude. It's a different type. God is like the mother, watching over you every moment. Every moment you are facing risks, enormous risks. Earth is not steady. Read geography. Your own body is not steady. The brain itself doesn't know how to hold itself in a healthy manner. In a most complicated world process, it's a divine hand that goes on helping you at every moment. Therefore, that sense of surrender, the first stage, you are a ray of God. No, rather, first stage, you are slave of God. Next stage, you are a ray of God. Jiva buddhya padanshaka. From the point of view of being a jiva, I am a soul. You are an ansha, a ray. The more you understand that you are the soul that has gone on through countless lives, having a potentiality to become one with God, like a reflected sun in a jar of water. And if the jar is going to be poured, water poured from one to another, reflection goes on moving. And you have been moving from jar to jar. And all that is because you need to express the divine, innate divine qualities through your personality. Every human being has been given affection, compassion, goodness of the heart, but it grows in a very limited circle. As a householder, you find endless compassion, tenderness towards your child. But when you think of the whole world you have to love, that's too much. But that you have to. This is just a kindergarten teaching of God. In every embodiment, you are given a set of relatives. Your heart is allowed to experience the tenderness of a mother towards a child, tenderness of friends, tenderness, lover, beloved, and all that. In every embodiment, little pinches of these experiences are given to prepare you that all those sentiments should flow to God. Thereby, they flow to the entire universe. There isn't a single grain of sand, a single object in this world that is not Brahman, pure awareness, that is not God. And if you are God, then you are all. You say, that's an enormous thing to think of. Think of your dream experience. In your dream, the world is as big as this world. And you find yourself lost, miserable. Can you ever imagine that everything in your dream world, even a roach, is you? It's your own consciousness. No matter how frightening a situation, it is a display, it's a sport created by your consciousness. And all dissolves it. But in the same way, you are looking at the world through conditioned mind, through limited senses, through an unconscious that has been specially fashioned by your previous samskaras, impressions and vasanas. And so you are looking at a world created by mental waves, just like pictures are cast upon a screen, and pictures create a drama. All the drama you are experiencing is sustained by pure awareness. That's God. And therefore, in the state of enlightenment, you discover, I am the screen. Think of various similes. You discover you are the ocean. You have been waves through countless embodiments. Now you have become the ocean. You have been snakes in countless embodiments. Now you have become a rope. You have been mirages in 1,000 embodiments. Now you have become a simple desert. You have been tossed by clouds. If you were like a patches of blue sky, patches. They patches expand, contract, they move. But all the while, if you are the sky, nothing has happened. That's the state of ultimate revelation. It is only when you realize that all your karmas move away. Otherwise, you are constantly going to create dharma and adharma, good and negative karmas. You are constantly going to do that. In human embodiment, it is a mixed state. When you do certain good karmas, you have always done some little negative karma with it. If the mixture is not there, you won't be a human being. You will have wings on you and you'll fly. It's the mixture that keeps you as a human being. And if you don't want to be a human being, then your mind has to turn to how to terminate all karmas. All karmas are, in a broad point of view, they are negative karmas. Why should soul has to suffer through karmas? Sarvadharman harityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Renounce all concern for what should I do, I shouldn't do, all forms of dependence, and seek out God within you as the real basis of all. When you are dreaming in a dream world, you are wandering from one place to another, looking for somewhere you can rest. But the real answer for rest is how to wake up from that dream. And once you awaken yourself, you are already rested. So, all things that come while you are dreaming, all things that come into your mind as your support. You are in a small house and look at the neighbor with a big house in a dream. So how happy will I be if I could get that? In your dream, you have asked the real estates. In your dream, you have carried your computer. Made a research. But no matter how best support you get, it is not real. You have to wake up. That's the difference between to understand karmas, creating karmas, and coming to a state of dissolving all karma. Prayo nam tapah proktam chittam nishchaya uchyate tapo nishchaya sanyuktam prayaschat chittamiti smitam. This is a statement from a scripture. Tapa. Tapa term means meditation. That's the classical meaning. A disciple comes to Guru and he says, teach me about God. And the Guru says, Tapo Brahmeti. God is Brahman. God is austerity. So go and practice. He practices austerity and comes to a certain level of understanding. Practices meditation and he gains certain level and he comes and describes it to Guru. But his level of understanding is limited. So Guru tells him again, Tapo Brahmeti. Austerity is God. I'm just giving you a little episode. So tapa means how to allow your mind to go into the core of the problem. And to begin with, how to let the mind become focused. Focus the mind, called concentration. Keep the focused state going on, that's called meditation. The third stage is expansion in consciousness, called samadhi. Nothing purifies one's mind so powerfully as the experience of meditation in 3 stages. Focusing the mind, maintaining the focus, allowing consciousness to expand beyond the limits of your concept of time and space. Your concept, I'm the body, I'm placed in certain place. Suddenly your consciousness expands. And that experience is beyond anything you have heard, known. And that gives you a direct touch with God gradually. And that is real prayaschitta. It purifies. Tapa is called prayas. This is Sanskrit study. Chitta means firmness. Prayaschitta is meditation with self-effacement. blended with firmness. So that's now simpler form. Continue to repeat the mantra. Continue to develop an art of loving God, and just like you love every breath of yours, if you could come to that stage that through every breath you are reciting the divine name. This is highlighted in the Ramayana. Rama is seated on the throne. This is the first day of his royal coronation. And after that great battle against the demons, this is the first day of celebrating Rama's victory. Rama is there, his consort, divine consort Sita is there, and Hanuman is in front of him. The entire battle was won because of the valor and the effort of Hanuman. So Sita Devi, who shows her great appreciation and indebtedness to Hanuman, takes out from her neck a very costly jewel, a garland of jewels, and offers that to Hanuman. And all people there, they become so jealous. There were so many economists. They knew all the prices for each jewel. Their whole calculations. They all looked at each other. At least she should have given one or two. They all. And then their whole mind was focused on Hanuman. What is he going to do with that? He's not an elegant personality. The monkey on his neck. And Hanuman increases their suspense. He looks and looks. The surprise of all, he cracks it. Cracked a very costly jewel. Many shivered. At last he's a monkey, so let him be. He cracked another one. And he went on cracking faster. And now some of them couldn't resist, couldn't control themselves. I said to Hanuman, see, without any stepping beyond the culture of that time. I said, oh Hanuman, Mother Sita gave you such a wonderful gift. And how is it you are crunching on it? Hanuman said, oh no, I want to see Rama in each. If Rama is not there, the Mother Sita's love is Rama. And I want to prove her that I am following her path. Rama is the goal. And I want to crunch on it. Now they became very upset with this answer and said, do you have Rama in your bones, in your blood? Why don't you crunch that? Hanuman said, how dare you say that? And with his fingers, with big nails, monkey nails, he strikes against his heart and tears. And there comes a special blaze of light. And Rama is there with his full grandeur and glory. Every drop of his blood is filled with Rama's presence. This is a figurative story. The idea is that when you do japa, your japa should not stay with your tongue. It should get into your heart. If it stays with your tongue, then that's what the predicament. You have the best of jewels and we're just crunching on it. It should get into the heart. And that's not an easy thing, but that's a tremendous goal. Keep it in your mind. Whenever you hear the name of someone whom you love, it gives you a special touch of a comfort, joy, thrill. If divine name is the highest, does your mind recognize it? Should the divine name be just moved on like jewels in the hand of a monkeys? So, you come to another level, your mind builds up that bhavana feeling. Intense joy begins to develop. You develop in your mind the concept that divine name is like a mystic sugar candy, not just for Halloween. For all times, day and night, look around you. Things in the world are good for you, thanks to God within. Turn to divine name more and more. Things that seem to comfort you, look at them. Look into their eyes. What shines behind them is divine presence. So when the divine name has entered into your heart, it begins to permeate your bloodstream. I'm not talking physical. It fills your vasanas, subtle impressions of the unconscious. So your whole feeling, begins to blossom in a divine way. Then that is when we say Ram is, or any divine name is circulating your body, and it's not just on your tongue, you have digested it. You've gone into your heart. And it has permeated your whole personality. If you are moving towards that, all your karmas will be wiped out. God has no choice but to give you liberation. Supreme devotion, para-bhakti. And all things needed for attaining liberation will come to you automatically, in a very simple way. Sakrideva prapannaya tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvabhuteshu dadamye tat vratam mama. Quotation from the Ramayana, Valmiki. Vibhishana comes to surrender himself to Rama. Attendants of Rama say Vibhishana is the brother of demon king. So please be careful. Don't give him total refuge. Rama says, no. This is my vow. If anyone comes to me and says, I have surrendered myself, I will protect that person against the entire universe. If the whole world is against him, doesn't matter. Abhayam sarvabhuteshu. I will make him protected from all. He can be absolutely fearless. Because the entire world and all its temptations and all its distractions cannot affect the mind that has developed surrender to God. A total surrender. That's what you need to understand. First, you need to sip in a little surrender. A little surrender is like a cup of wonderful nectar. Sip in, sip a little and see how it does feel. Then do it day by day, become addicted to it. Practice relaxation. Practice the art of letting go all problems and stress. The art of repeating divine name and drawing special strength from that name. And saturating the mind with the divine touch. If you are moving in that way, then you are getting more and more addicted to the drink of surrender until you are drunken. So that's what you got. Whoever turns to me and says, surrender, I have surrendered to you, is absolutely freed of all negative karmas. Anindi, the 78th sutra. Anindya yoni adhikriyate paramparyat samanyavat. All down to the lowest born are entitled to follow the path of bhakti, because it is taught by successive authorities. Like all things that are common to all. The idea is that all scriptures, though they prescribe a lot of austerities for purifying the mind, they come to highest level of teaching where it is, no matter where you are, irrespective of your caste, your class, your form, all the distinction, irrespective of all distinctions. If you have developed love of God, the quantitative aspect of your personality has no meaning in the eyes of God. How much you possess, how much you are giving. It is how your love has developed. So therefore, you will attain the highest. And there is a statement from the scripture. Vyadhasya acharanam. What was the conduct of the hunter? There was a hunter that attained enlightenment. The hunter who lived a life hunting animals. But there happened to be a situation we begin to develop devotion. In the state of devotion, he just plucked a few leaves and offered to Lord Shiva. But during that time, his heart melted. And irrespective of whatever he has done, he was led to. His soul attained enlightenment. There are many stories. Kubjasya kimu nama rupam. In Krishna's time, there was a hunchbacked lady. And she developed love of Krishna. And Krishna cured her of her hunchback. That again is, whether he cured or not, literally doesn't make any sense. The soul attains liberation. So it is not how you appear, how do you look. God gave you the looks, you can't. And there were many. Shabari was an ordinary lady from a wild folk. And she attained enlightenment by developing love of devotion to Rama. And when Rama, actually incarnation of God, comes, she offers bare fruits. Fruits she has collected, but out of a big devotion. He didn't want any fruit to be given to him unless it has been well proven to be delicious. Fortunately, he had not studied science. See, each fruit, she puts a tooth mark on it. Day by day, she did. There was a prophecy that Rama will come one day. Day by day, she did, and Rama did come. And she gives those fruits. People around us shudder. What an insult she is doing to Rama. Well, Rama eats and says, this food is exactly like mother used to give to me. I miss that food. You must not take it very literally. The idea behind it, firstly, don't develop the idea that in order to attain enlightenment, you have to be rich, so that you can give good offerings and you can tell people what you have given. You can give to the government how much you have given, and so forth. The idea is, it is not the quantity. You may give just little water, but it is just a flower. You may say, well, no, why don't I don't give anything at all? If you emphasize that means you are getting very dull. And what I was telling, the Shabri level implies that every day experiences that come to you day by day, those experiences are bare fruits. You put them in the basket of your mind. Before you put them in your basket, put your tooth on it. Test question. Does it relate to God within me? Do I remember God? Every situation, as it impacts your mind, should bring in a touch of God. When pleasure comes, the touch that comes into your mind is your ego. How wonderful I did. When pain comes, the touch goes into many directions. So who caused this pain? But in every situation, pleasure has come, your mind has touched God. You have put a toothprint on it. It is His blessing. Pain that cannot be avoided, again, you put your tooth mark on it. It's also His blessing. All your experiences blend with a devotional touch. That's what the meaning of teeth mark. That's at the higher level. But even at the very literal level, just offering little flowers, it is the bhavana, feeling within you, that makes you succeed. And with this I will conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.